Hello, hello. Really excited to panel. I'm following. Really excited. And I'm finance growth. Poly provides scaling infrastructure. Ethereum block scale to the next Ethereum billion.
Hello, nice to meet you. Many. Yeah, for sure. It's good to see everyone in this spaces. I'm Eric, part of the business development labs. Alva Labs, the primary service provider, unaware, Avalanche, a game use case. Recently, we've been expanding quite a bit. We have our and focusing on scalability of our subnet infrastructure. So it's great to be on this call.
Amazing.
Hey everyone, I'm sudo bytecode compatible L1 with debuggers. Fuzz. I deployed something on L1 to migrate, get the scalability and improvements from L2.
Yeah, GM. I would say technically that Polygon Labs, the first one has to calling Polygon describing as the value of the internet, the network, interconnected, power layer 2 chain. As most people are familiar with, Aave, DeFi, that's, and then we also have Polygon. We also stack chain development. So the apps quite a few years ago, kind of an interesting trend. In addition, these are very updates. That's kind of where we are. We did have a big upgrade. Dragon supports the latest opcode. So those are the big.
Typical.
I don't know. That's probably something with the ZK
Okay.
So it's good for the trying to follow the great and of course to have you on. Everyone, yeah. Right now, that myself, I just got back from Korea, and it's several children that's on top of the labs. They're building on an Avalanche VM, kind of built on top of Avalanche, and that helped me out. But I would say look out for that now. And then side new video titled "Off the Grid," and that was respectively pretty big. It's good to see that crossover of Web3, that kind of more of a mainstream audience. And then beyond that was just that NYU talking, and then we also have team members out in Africa at Eat Safari, and we actually sponsored a hacker. Kind of these budding coming about. And then in the next year, a lot come out of it. Several large side of them. So Australian.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So final complete. Final to go.
So why did?
Good question. We evaluate creating of course there's.
Thanks. And
yeah, in TradFi, a lot more. We think that DeFi is a lot more spot, and that's going to draw basic Binance interactive
Forge, and there's a lot of. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, it depends on how you think. At the end of the day, you care about having best price, and a lot of that on Avalanche. We definitely order books having. I think there's like real thought, right? Bonding curves or implementing to kind of mirror kind of what happened. I think there's been two major adoption. One just has to the performance. I think up to before L1s that have Avalanche, you really didn't have an experience and have the same use, right, as a buying as a trading. And then I think the second is just order books are a lot more capital. Order the slip is a price, directly with depth. So you really, you guys are taking with orderly where you're aggregating across them to have with fragment really just you're drawing, relative. So I think orderly, does a lot. And then, as I'm excited mechanism.
Yeah, I think, and the question, I think there is demand. Right? I'm not sure if they know. Yeah, I think what capital you're talking about, and the user definitely, the end user, right? Because these constant product, they have become permissionless liquidity provision, and you don't need a lot of this part of the and like centralized order book models where capital and volume and liquidity, obviously tighter. They just require a critical provide. So a smart order book DEX in the way that it does require real time order match and manage constantly fairly. So we have. There's definitely might not
about demand being pop up.
In my opinion, the topic so growing, but it is why to switch from
I because like the frequent transactions required is that because L2 transaction costs like that, they're more so the Uniswap style, order books. Sorry, and wow, I can't. And sort of those style DEXes came out limitations from the gas requirement. So now with L2's sort of order book, historically the original style way back in which was an order book.
Yeah, I mean this guy ran. Yeah.
Yeah. So this deposit, the trades settle by block, the settlement. And what that means fail. Eventually, the entire what kind of essentially
will it bring?
Sorry, the asset within there have asset the DApps and power and have their
definitely. Honestly, think the share looks probably more of an, especially in the DeFi, being able to consolidate a price order. I think that's really, at least in Escape. Once we see the bull come back, then I feel there might the competition volume quite a bit, but especially in the environment, that's and also cross chain message and bridges are getting more time. That will be abstracted. You're already seeing that in some account abstraction to onboards without having them set up their own wallet, and I think we'll see that carry over.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again, I kind of piggybacking like those by order, there is a significant benefit. Unifying the traders. It's just great that they can access wider of assets. I mean, I don't think it's surprising, having DApps closer together, possibly foster collaborability within the creating a more vibrant and dynamic the user. I've maxed in the bear market. I think it's what just 2 years ago. Think about when just on the DeFi side, it's kind of bad to go back and think about that. A lot of promise, and that's very, very. But yeah, into the puzzle, thriving and robust trader bridge liquidity community.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, so obviously sucks. What we have now is obviously excellent, and I think that now the huge amount execution environment, the huge unlock can offer load balance, all to utilize.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also closer together. On my side, of course, great.
But the rest of as time strat.
Yeah. What makes
As I was following me. So looking at orderly love, that's the most important. Also,
Yeah, so I mean, overall, it's exciting in the DeFi space, the UX space in general, and coming out of it feels like we have all the in the bear market.
yeah. I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be short in capacity that I have DeFi side. It's exciting. Just get a more comprehensive gaps across liquidity and swaps. Just like I said, UX a better of these projects protocols. Myself and just a very
Yeah. So I think there's definitely a benefit said, right? As long as you guys are plugged into that, provide the best price, lowest, we're happy. I'm very bullish, just because you guys have, already built on the Fi, WooX. You come to the lot of kind of built, and we do work with a couple of DEX a lot, especially, the hardest partners, finding party providers on the market making side, or coming to the table, prior. I think you guys are very well getting into that.
We found Elm,
I said
and then
Well, currently, although we're trying to, this is like a deposit.
yeah, imagine. Can I use your platform?
Right. So we'll have the asset Polygon. There will
And that kind of that's what we say.
thank you
to TradFi. In my opinion.
Grant will help you.
awesome thanks guys
thank
Yeah,
you everyone.